so it's got my drive hooked up. I did have to actually, I already formatted it before I installed it, but I did have to assign a drive letter. So you can see it's hooked up via the eSATA connection. And just real quick, I am going to test a file here. I've got a file here that is 1.12 gigabytes. And I'm just going to go ahead and let's just say move. I'll move that folder. It's just a test file, so I'll move it to my new external 640 is what I named it. Let's just see what kind of speeds we get, how long it takes. So I'm running at 104 megabytes per second at the peak, right around 90, 87, probably an average of about 90, 95 megabytes per second. And that was a over 1 gigabyte file. So pretty pleased. It shows up here in my computer. So maybe I'll do a slightly larger file and see what kind of, if we get the same speeds for one last test. Okay, so one other thing I read in the reviews to this is there was some people having a problem with anything over 4 gigabytes in size. So I've got a 6.1 gigabyte file here, and I am going to copy that to my drive. See if we run into any problems, and also see what kind of speeds we're getting. I see 121, 113, 105 megabytes per second. So we're right around, between 90 and 110. Seems to be going downhill a little bit. 86, 83 megabytes per second. Now it's kind of hovering around 80 to 85 megabytes per second. Now this is a 6.1 gigabyte file that seems to be transferring really well. It looks like it's going to be down in probably, my best guess would be under a minute for a 6.1 gigabyte file. You're not going to see that with USB. That's for sure. So while this is finishing up, I am extremely pleased. On the drive itself, if you're facing it with the fan right here, the left light is the power light, and the right light over here is on only when it's accessing. Being the OCD type of person I am, I don't like that. It's not uniform, but I can deal with it. And also, this fan, if you can kind of hear, if you're interested, I'll turn it off. Now I've got my big system here in the background. It's got some fans in it, but you'll probably be able to hear this fan. It's not as quiet as I'd hope, but it's not too bad. So here I'm going to turn it on. Yeah, I think you can definitely hear that. Yeah, it could be worse. And I'll turn it back off. So that'll probably save your hard drive, but you know, for some that might be a downside. So there it is. It's the Rosewheel, and I've already forgotten the model number, but it's at the first of the video. So pretty good little enclosure, I've got to say. Again, I put a Western Digital. Not sure if it's a Caviar, but it's a Western Digital Blue Series 640 gigabyte drive. It'll be plenty for me. I back up 3 systems with images, and keep a bunch of music on there, be plenty of space. So anyway, you guys have a great day. Okay, and as one final note, I'm going to give you HD tune bandwidth numbers. This is that disc I put in there, the Western Digital Blue 640 gigabyte drive. So on the transfer rate, you've got a minimum of 58.6, a maximum of 116, with an average of 94.7. Access time 11.9, and burst rate of 84. Now I'm going to hook it up to USB and we'll see what kind of numbers it gives us there. Do the same test. Okay, so here's the same enclosure connected via USB, and it's about what you expect. A minimum of 31.3, maximum 32.9, average 32.7, access time 12.2, burst rate of 27.8, and while I'm right here, that same, as you can see, 1.12 gigabyte file, I am going to move that back to where it was. Now if I can remember where it needs to go. Yeah, drive F. So I'll move that real quick and see what we can't, kind of speeds it shows for USB. I'd imagine they'll be about the same speeds as we just saw in HD Tune, which it looks like they are. So 30 megabytes per second. So substantially less than the eSATA. I think I'll be using the eSATA, and I think I'll take this USB cable and put it away until I find a good use for it. Because that eSATA is the way to go on external drives. I would never get another USB drive, especially when they come with PCI brackets like this one does. So there it is again. If you want to take a quick look at it, I would highly recommend this external drive. I don't see much downside to it. It's I don't know, it might be a little big, I guess, compared to some, but it does have a switch that you can turn the fan on and off. That's something a lot of them don't have. USB, eSATA, its own 80mm fan that's not too loud. So I'm impressed myself. I'm glad I bought it. If I run into any problems, I'll report them. But if you're looking at one of these or looking at something like this, you know, for my first couple hours of having it, I would highly recommend it. So we'll talk to you guys soon.